This episode of Yuri on Ice was quite the emotional episode, like emotionally charged. This episode, the theme that was running through it that I noticed as I was watching it, I probably had to even watch it a second time and third time to really get the theme into my head, was there are times where you must separate. Now, I'm not saying that as in a bad way, but I'm saying it more as you must learn how to cope independently by yourself. You can't always be dependent on another person to grow as an individual. And we saw that with at least a few characters in this episode, namely Yuri, Yurio, and the twins. So, what is up, guys? Today I come to you with another weekly review of Yuri on Ice, and we are at episode 9. We are very close to the ending, and I think a lot of people are, they're anxious about the ending because they don't want this to end, and I don't want it to end too. But every story, every good story must come to its end. So, and Yuri on Ice is just one of those many stories. Now, in this episode, the reason why I said it was emotionally charged, especially what happened at the ending and how it goes with the theme, basically, separation or distance makes a person grow stronger, makes an individual person go stronger. We remember that, of course, and I have to say I'm grateful that Makachin is okay. I don't think I heard anybody really, being really worried about Makachin, but truth be told, I'm very happy that he is a-okay. Nothing serious really happened to him. So what happened in the end of this episode with the reunion of Victor and Yuri, because remember, Victor had to travel back to Japan because of the incident with Makachin and him eating the steam buns, and he had to go to the vet, and it was a matter of life and death for him. And Yuri, for the first time since he and Victor has been together for roughly about around possibly 8 to 9 months, they have not been separated. So the fact that they're separated now, it kind of affects Yuri in some type of way. So we also see, during the time, the 8 months that happened in the series, and as us, the viewers, has been watching this for, 9 episodes, we've seen how their bond, how their relationship has grown, how it blossomed into what it is as of right now. And it's a very touching and very healthy type of growth. Now, the fact that Victor was not in the picture for the most part of this episode, it kind of did affect Yuri to some extent. Like I said, because he's so used to Victor being there and supporting him. And when it came down to his performance, he did kind of suffer a little. He did, because, at the end of it, when Victor's there, he has that moral support. He has that person cheering for him. And then at the end of his performance, when it comes to the kiss and hug section, he always has Victor there to hug him. Like the funny moment where he didn't have Victor to hug him, he started hugging everyone. So it was like a withdrawal for him because he was so used to it. Now, for one thing, I have to say, it was like you kind of felt for Yuri in that moment, because it's like, Victor's not there. And I think anybody can relate to Yuri in that sense, where it's like, home is where the heart is. And for Yuri, home is Victor. That's where his heart lies with. And you felt for him, because when you're so used to someone, when you're dependent on someone, you grow with a person, and when they're not there, it's kind of hard to focus on the task that's at hand. And yes, Yuri did perform. He didn't perform at, at top of his game, which I was hoping for. I was having high expectations of, because from last week's episode, I was saying if Victor leaves, I want Yuri to blow the audience away with the fact that Victor's not there, to the point where it's like, even if Victor's not there, I'm still going to wow him. Even if we're distance apart, I was a little disappointed that he kind of flubbed. He barely managed to get into, secure a spot for the GPF, but it was understandable from his part. Now we see where it goes relate to Yurio, where for him, his performance was, his free skate was fantastic. Like when you compare it to the other times, especially with his short program, his free program, and if you heard the theme, it was the same theme that was used during the promotional video that came out at least a month prior to the series starting. It was the same theme, and I was glad that they used that in Yuri's performance, and he looked fantastic. He was beautiful. Like, his performance was flawless, and the reason for that was because his grandpa was there, and we all know that his grandpa has a major influence in his life. Like, all the other times when he was performing Agape, and especially in last week's episode when his grandpa was unable to attend to his performance, he flubbed a little bit. And it goes to show that because his grandfather has such great significance in his life, you saw him perform at the best. You saw him knock it up a notch, right? And he even, he did still lose to JJ. JJ is the king. JJ is the man, because his performance was epic, and he kind of had the whole theme of love going on in his, but it went above that. But Yurio's performance was just like, it was amazing. Now, to get to the twins, it kind of relates to Yuri and Yurio with the same sense of home is where the heart is. These two had such a close bond. I wouldn't say it's incest, but it was probably getting close to that, like the brocon, the siscon thing. And I liked how Sala, she seemed to be a little bit more independent than her brother for a very long time. And it was in this episode that her brother decided to let her go. Like, he's always been that person that was beside her, that he wouldn't let her date anyone. He's her defender, her prince, her knight. And when Sala came to him and told him that they need to separate, they need to distance themselves, that she won't rely on him, with or without him, she will start depending on herself. It was not to say that we are no longer going to be together. It's just that there are things that I need to do as an individual myself, that sometimes I cannot always rely on you. I need to be able to rely on myself, which gave them character growth that I did not really expect, because we got so many characters thrown into this series that some of them didn't get all that much character growth, and more than likely we're not going to see them once the final stage is set, which is set in Barcelona for possibly the last 3 episodes. So they did distance themselves, and when he was performing saying, "This is the last time I'm doing this for you, Sala." And she cried, but she was also very happy, because he realized, Mickey, he finally realized that, they don't always have to be together, that there are times where they will be distanced from each other. There's still the support, even if they're not physically within, the space to be together. So all of this relates with each other, the twins and Yurio and Yuri, and you always will have their support. That there will be times where you will fumble and tumble because you don't have the person or persons that you're so used to, the person who you're so comfortable with, whether it be friends, family, a lover, whoever it is. Even if they're not always there, you can still do amazing. You may fumble a little bit, but you will learn to grow into it and grow much more as an individual, as a person. So I really like this episode. It has such a deep meaning, and the theme that was going around it, centralizing around it, it was a very amazing thing to see. I cannot wait for next week's episode. From my understanding, next week's episode might be a filler episode. So they may, stay off of skating for a little bit in that episode. I'm not too sure. Possibly it may happen, and we're gonna see like possibly 1 or 2 more new characters introduced, and then the finale will take place at Barcelona. That's where the last stage is for the GPF. So if you guys saw this week's episode of Yuri on Ice, episode 9, please do tell me in the comment section below on how you felt about this week's episode. How do you feel about that confession at the end, where when Yuri confessed, saying, don't, what was it again? Stay by my side until I retire. Be my coach until I retire. And then Victor responded with saying, that sounded like a marriage proposal. Okay, and I wish you never retired. Now tell me how you felt about that statement that was made at the end of the episode in the comment section below. The links are in the description box as always. And I'm Kimmy Chan of Anime Legends Podcast. And I will see you guys later. Bye.